You guys called for it. Remember, you said you wanted a tight end, and now you have it. We have changed everything by bringing on the one and only Darren Waller. We're going to talk about that and more, training camp updates, and let's take a look at the current depth chart and see if anything stands out. Right here inside P Town, let's get to it.
Everybody wants to be a panther until it's time to hunt. Inside P-Town, let's hunt.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It is your boy P Way here with Inside P Town. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, topic number one, the news that has all the Panthers fans excited. Darren Waller has agreed to a 1-year deal. He's coming to the Queen City. He has chosen to join the Carolina Panthers. Man, oh man, I just want to appreciate this moment because a couple years ago, this was not happening. When you look at the fact that Devin Lloyd has joined the squad, Jalen Phillips, and now you get a veteran like Darren Waller. What this shows me, we got 4 players in the top 100. This just shows me the perception of the Panthers has changed. Players know and believe that we are contenders. We're not at the bottom of the barrel anymore, y'all. We got to appreciate this moment. We're not at the bottom anymore. You can poke your chest out. You can walk with pride now. You can talk in the barbershop now, man. We back. This is very, very exciting that Darren Waller will join this tight end room. Now, there are some people who are wondering, Darren Waller's up there in age. Why him? Okay. Why do we feel like he's the right fit? Let me read off some numbers for you, okay? Here's Tommy Trimble's numbers last year. 27 receptions, 249 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Here's Jatavion Sanders. 29 receptions, 190 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then here's Mitchell Evans' stats. 19 receptions, 171 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And here's Darren Waller's stats. 24 receptions, 283 yards, and 6 touchdowns. You know what's crazy about that? Do you know what's crazy about that? For Tommy Trimble, Jatavion Sanders, and Mitchell Evans, they have 5 total touchdowns last year in a span of, they all played at least 10 games, right? Or more. Darren Waller played 9 games last year and surpassed all 3 of them together with 6 touchdowns. So if you're asking why is he here, that's why he's here. We're talking about a 6'6" versatile tight end that is a matchup nightmare in the passing game, and especially in the red zone, okay? Somewhere where this offense has steadily needed to improve since Bryce has took over. So that's why he's here. Just think about the offense now. We have T-Mac 6'5" on the outside, or he might be in the slot. Got Jalen Coker running those intermediate routes. We have maybe XL. I prefer Jimmy Horn so he can stretch the field. And then we have a tight end at 6'6". You match up a linebacker or a safety on him, it is a done deal. Then we got Jonathan Brooks in the backfield now, who's shown that he can catch the ball out the backfield. That is a lot of weapons for Bryce Young. And that's a lot of weapons for Brad Isaac to really, really get into his bag, man. As we've shown in this preseason game, those tight ends were getting a lot of looks, right? So adding someone like this who's seen so much football, we know Darren Waller has Very, very, very great hands. Listen, I love it. I love it. Now, a lot of people are saying that this move is a direct shot to Jatavion Sanders. And I'm not denying that it is because Jatavion Sanders was drafted for his pass catching ability. All right. He was the prototype tight end that we were looking to kind of mold and be that tight end number one for us. We haven't had a tight end one since Greg Olson, right? But this isn't just a shot at Jatavion Sanders. This is a shot at Tommy Tremble as well. What this management has shown, and why I believe this is changing everything, that they are willing by any means, whether it's free agency or in the draft, they are going to improve this roster. Yes, they just drafted Mitchell Evans last year. Yes, they just drafted Jatavion Sanders 2 years ago. If you're not producing, they will replace you. Think about the receiver room. They drafted T Mac. The next year, now they go and draft Brazel. What do you think XL thinking? Like, dang, I just got here on my third year. They not playing games. They're looking at every single component. They're looking at every single weakness. If there's a weakness, they're identifying it. They're saying, okay, we are going to either attack this in the draft or we're going to find that free agent, right, to get us through for the season. All right. And that's exactly why I feel like linebackers, you better watch out. Still think we got another one coming. But to the topic at hand, this move changed everything. This really solidifies that mindset. You either produce or you will be replaced. And we're not afraid to double stack the room and make it very challenging. We've seen us have a safety in Trevon Moehrig and then just draft Lathan Ransom right behind it. And they both have like the same playing style. Like they're drafting the best players. They are simply signing the best players available. That's it. That's the name of the game. They're trying to make this roster better. So this move has just changed everything. It's really showing who this management team is, the mindset, right? Like I said, 4 players in the top 100. That is done by simply getting the best players. So Darren Waller, welcome to the Carolina Panthers, and I cannot wait to see what he has in store for the 2026 season. Now to topic number 2. We are going to talk about training camp updates. Before that, I do want to let you guys know, just in case you're not tracking, there is no joint practice with the Buffalo Bills this week. I repeat, there will be no joint practice with the Buffalo Bills this week. There will be a joint practice next Wednesday with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the week following that, there will be another practice on that following Wednesday with the Houston Texans. So we're still going to get plenty of work with some other teams. And if you don't know, we do have our preseason game versus the Buffalo Bills this Saturday at 1 p.m. So some great news. Dave Canales came out and said, yes, the starters will be playing. They'll play about 10 to 20 snaps. So, yes, we're going to see Bryce Young out there. We're going to get our first look at Monroe Freeland. And I believe the Buffalo Bills will be playing their number 1 defense as well. So let's go ahead and get Monroe Freeland some work, and let's see how he's holding up, because from the training camp footage, that boy is adjusting and he is looking nice, man. I think Elaine Johnson just came out and said he's retiring, and Monroe Freeland is like, yo, don't worry about it. I'm going to carry the mantle. I'm going to be that next dominant tackle in the league. So I love the way he's looking. I can't wait to get a look at him in his preseason game. Also, Chuba Hubbard has hurt his hamstring. They had an MRI. They said there's something there. They do say it's going to be on a week-by-week basis. And Dave Canales did assure us that he does not see him missing the start of the season. He'll be ready week 1. So we get a great look at Jonathan Brooks, which is very exciting to finally see, 25 out there doing this thing. I cannot wait to see him. I just want him to shake the cobwebs off. I'm just ready for him to, get hit, get that moment over with, and just get out there and be grateful and have fun, man. So I cannot wait for that moment. And I also want to see this defense. I want to see our number one defense, what that looks like. Devin Lloyd, see our corners out there, see who is playing that nickel position. Is it J.C. Horn, who's been rolling over in practice playing that nickel position? Is it going to be Will Lee? Is it going to be Thornton? So I can't wait to see that as well. So man, really tune in. All you out there, tune into that preseason game. There's going to be some goodies because that receiver battle as well. Who's going to step up to the plate? David Moore, right? John Mechie, Jimmy Horn Jr. You know what I mean? Bryce Tremaine, excuse me. Who am I forgetting out that group? Jasim Reed. Who's going to produce? I cannot wait to see who makes it out that group and who really elevates themselves or separates themselves. I'm calling it now. I have Jimmy Horn having a big return. I feel like this is going to be the week he's going to have a splash play on special teams. All right, a big play on special teams that really helps him out. Now I'm going on to some training camp updates. Damian Lewis returned to practice on Thursday, so that is some good news. He did about half a practice, then I believe they pulled him off to the side just to continue to work on him. Pat Jones also returned. He had a illness. Derek Brown has been having some knee trouble, a little knee problem, but he was there at practice, and Dave Canales said it's nothing long term and assured us that he will be ready week 1. So that is good news as well. From what I'm hearing on offense, Bryce Young, man, he's having his best training camp. Really think back. Y'all know years back, we've always heard Bryce Young throwing interceptions every now and then to the defense. But what I'm hearing this training camp, it seems like the offense getting the best out of the defense. And you're not hearing much Bryce Young throwing interceptions and stuff like that. So, I really like what I'm hearing, especially Bryce Young getting into little arguments and scraps with Mike Jackson and the defense. I like this animal Bryce Young. I like this different mindset. It's just showing that, in week 4, he's no longer figuring things out. We know we never would have heard anything like this the first 2 seasons. Bryce Young get into arguments, having that fire. That just shows me the expectation has changed, man. Bryce Young is a whole different quarterback, a whole different guy, growing up as a man. He's getting older. You know what I mean? So I love this approach. I like hearing that he's more fiery. I like hearing that he's in the drama. I do. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where we came from. We had Cam Newton, that's the biggest success that we've had, as a organization, and I'm used to that, so I like it. And we also are seeing that Jimmy Horn, I'm hearing, is, boy, they said Jimmy Horn is causing some trouble out there, man. That speed is really showing off, and Dave Canales has talked about that in his press conference. And I did mention in my last video, I said Jimmy Horn needs to work on the small details, and I was glad that in his press conference, he literally said it's the small things that he needs to work on. And it's lining up in the right position and things of that nature. So I'm looking forward to continue to see how he progresses in this training camp and these preseason games. And lastly, but not least, also in training camp, I think there's a big list that came out today, and Will Lee is still making plays. He's still showing up. He's been probably our most impressive rookie, even though I think in a preseason game, my boy Wheatley, he had a great showing. So those are the training camp updates, and let's look forward to more as time goes on. Now, first, I want to pull up this depth chart. Let's pull up this depth chart on the screen, and let's take a look at the offense. So here is the depth chart right now. You see our first team. There's no surprises there. T-Mac, Jalen Coker, Rasheed Walker, Damian Lewis, Luke Fortner, Robert Hunt, Monroe Freeland. You have Tommy Tremble, Xavier Legette, Bryce Young, and Chuba. Okay. Now, this is when some things start to stand out as we move to the second team. All right. We have Bryce Tremaine, who is still ahead. And I think, like I said, they are sticklers on players who are in the right spots and do the right things and can play in special teams. And that is Bryce Tremaine. He may not be the most flashy, but He does what is asked of him. He's reliable. And I think that's why you're seeing him have such a presence and have the outlook that they have on him. Same thing with David Moore. He's just a veteran, right? He's always going to be in the right spots. And Dave Canales has shown that he's a stickler for that. He's a process oriented type of coach. So, I think that's why they're in that position. Okay, we got Stone Forsythe. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's never a game I want to see Stone Forsythe. All right, there's never a game in our season I want to see Stone Forsythe in. I'm just gonna keep it real. We got Chandler Zavala, Sam Hecht. Sam Hecht as took a back seat. There was talks in the beginning that he was challenging Luke Fortner, and we all see that that's just not the case at the moment. It's going to be possibly another year for that. Sam Hecht got some work to do. Of course, we got Do It All, Brady Christensen, and then we got Stone Forsythe again. This just shows you, man, our our injury to our tackles with having the injuries with Taylor Moore and Iquanu. This is where we're at. And then we have Mitchell Evans as the backup to Tommy Tremble. And the key here is that Jatavion Sanders is the third string tight end. So this was our first indicator that, change was coming, and we saw that change now that we have Darren Waller. Now seeing Jimmy Horn in the second room and the second on the depth chart, that is very interesting as well. Because remember last year, he stayed like during the whole training camp, he was on that third string depth chart. So now having him in second string and really hearing what Dave Canales had to say about him, he has flashed. So they went back and looked at tape and they saw a lot of great things, which we all saw in that preseason game out of Jimmy. And hopefully they're looking to get him more involved earlier in the game. And I don't get why he's coming in the third or late second quarter and third quarters and playing with just the second string, first string. I want to see Jimmy Horn play with that first string or second string. He was a very, very key player. Remember the playoff game when Jalen Coker broke free down the middle and had that big gain? Who was it that stretched the field? Who was it that pulled all the safeties back? It was Jimmy Horn. All right. It was Jimmy Horn and his speed that caused our offense to really open up. So I really hope we're not forgetting that. And of course, we have Kenny Pickett right now, a second string quarterback, and Jonathan Brooks. So another key thing with this offense I'm looking at is Trevor Achane and AJ Dillon. That's going to be interesting because AJ Dillon last week, he really showed that he's going to really challenge that spot. So that's going to be interesting. And back to the receiving core, of course, we have the John Mechie and Jasim Reed. I don't see Jasim Reed not making this roster. I do not. I honestly think that it's time for us to let go of David Moore, man. I think this is going to be the year where he takes a step back, but we know it just seems like Dave Canales loves him some David Moore. So we'll see. Now going to the defense. This is our defensive depth chart right now. We have Bobby Brown and Cam Jackson, who has made it to the first string with Derrick Brown. That is a huge defensive front. So we should be doing better against the run, hopefully this year. And then we got Patrick Jones and of course, Jalen Phillips at our outside linebacker spots. All right. Then we have Devin Lloyd. Right now, we still have Trevin Wallace on that first string ahead of Chairless, but Dave Canales came out and said openly, it is a competition between Claude and Chairless and Trevin Wallace. Now, if you're asking me from what I've seen, I prefer Claude and Chairless. I just think at this moment, he has shown better on film. Trevin can be kind of lost sometime. I even like it if they can do something where maybe Chairless is playing those first and second downs and Trevin Wallace maybe comes in on like third downs or passing downs of things of that nature. That'll be kind of hard to sub in and sub out. But I'm just more of a fan of what Chairless brings to the defense. And we also have, of course, Mike Jackson and J.C. Horn as our corners. And it's just going to be important to see who really becomes that nickel or outside corner. We haven't seen Corey Thornton really used outside. They primarily use him in the nickel. So what's going to happen on those packages when J.C. Horn moves to that nickel position? Are they going to insert Will Lee, which that's my assumption, or they're going to let Charles Smith Wade or Corey Thornton? Who's going to replace him on the outside when that happens? So those are the big things that really stick out to me on the defense, and also Isaiah Simmons, who had that breakup, big breakup in the preseason game at safety. I think he's showing some good things, so we'll see if he, makes some moves and climbs up the depth chart as well. And lastly, special teams. Now, with special teams, what I like is finally they're going to use Jimmy Horn back at that kick return and punt return. I'm telling you now, I cannot wait. I just want him to get a chance to return a punt. I feel like this is something that he did in college. And he did also at Colorado, I think once or twice. But believe before that he was at USF. He has those returning backgrounds, and we know with his speed, I feel like he will be more dangerous, and he is more liable to pop than a chain or anybody else. I feel like he can really, pop a couple kick returns and really increase that kick return average. I feel like that's something we've been missing for a while. And I think that he'll just, give us a higher chance to have some big yards made on kick returns and punt returns. So these are some things that I've seen on the depth chart. I do know from Panthers fashion, usually the depth chart is pretty solid. They're not really hiding anything, so this is what you're seeing. Then, really take note to who is first, second, and third as of this point. But things can change, obviously, as this preseason goes on. So there you guys have it, man. I know it's been a great week. We got Darren Waller. The training camp is rolling on. We got another preseason game coming this Saturday, and there's going to be some shifting around, maybe some small moves within this depth chart. I do not think this management is done yet. I do not think they're done yet, man. I can really see another player coming soon. So we will see. But nonetheless, this is your boy P-Way, and thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for joining Inside P-Town. And like always, stay in the hunt. Peace.